Won't someone think of the Orcs? No. No, we will not think of the Orcs. We will not think of the Orcs. Do you want to know why we won't think of the Orcs? Because the Orcs are not real. They are not real. They do not exist. They never existed. They never will exist. And yet, for some reason, they were trending over the weekend on Twitter. And for some reason, the woke scolds of the world felt the need to try to censor the creators of Dungeons & Dragons, the people who own the license on it, blah, blah, blah. Because of a description. Now, what is that description, you might ask? Well, it says here, most orcs have been indoctrinated into a life of destruction and slaughter, but unlike creatures who by their very nature are evil, such as gnolls, it's possible that an orc, if raised outside its culture, could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion. Sounds like they're capable of being human in Dungeons & Dragons, or at least not being evil. Okay. No matter how domesticated an orc might seem, its bloodlust flows just beneath the surface. Sounds like instincts. With its instinctive love for battle, and its desire to prove its strength, an orc trying to live within the confines of civilization is faced with a difficult task. So it sounds to me like this could just as easily be said of the Klingons, or just about any other warrior race in anything. The Mandalorians, for example, would being another one. Mandalorians are warriors. It's in their blood to go to war. That is what they do. That's what they're trained to do. But if they're raised outside of their own culture, which is not warfaring, then they come out completely different. That is what this says. Speaking as someone who is a writer, both as a journalist and a comic book writer, this is how you describe a warlike culture. This, honestly, is pretty tame. I've seen descriptions that come across like that basically all they are capable of being is evil. I'm pretty sure that's the way that it is in Tolkien's fiction. So, this rather tame description of role-playing an orc was chosen by social justice warriors over the weekend to make a giant fuss about. By the way, folks, when I went and took my social media vacation and I said that there are wolves at the gate, and that the last thing you really need to be complaining about is that jeans and sports bras are going to make everybody suddenly wear one of these, this is what I mean. These are the type of people that are actually going out there and trying to ruin the things that you love. These are the people that create garbage, that say that they're involved in this sort of thing, but they really don't have any interest in creating something unique or something their own. They want to take the things that you love and they want to change them. They want to change them because of some sort of social inequality that they made up in their heads. There is no social inequality in the West. I'm sorry, but no. It's ridiculous. The idea that any one class of person in the West has that problem is beyond me. You want to see those sorts of things? Go to Chechnya, go to Iran, something along those lines. Do not come here to an American and try to tell me that there's something going on or some giant injustice. We're more equal now than we ever have been. It's ridiculous. But you get woke scolds like this idiot saying the current and past ideas and language surrounding orcs, tieflings, and a bunch of other sapient beings is problematic in D&D and other RPGs. If your response to that is their fantasy, my response is it should be no problem changing it for the safety and comfort of players. I love my brother Joe Ball down here, who is a phenomenal artist. If you are not following Joe Ball on Twitter, it's Comic Art Master 1. He's fantastic. He's working with my buddy Wenger on a book called Super Harem. And he's got his own story coming in CG Jumpstart called Death, Death, Death that looks fantastic. And I love the guy to death. He's awesome. Just stop impersonating Gail Simone. Please, I've had enough. I'm done. Anyway, as it stands, this goofball, who has, how many followers does he even have? Says he's a creator. Game designer, Burn Bright, D&D, TTRPG. Never heard of any of that. Co-founder of Don't Split the Pod. So has less of a following than I do. Host of Tabletop Babble. Has less of a following than I do. Husband of some chick. Pronouns in the bio. Pronouns in the bio. Oh, wow. This guy is not only soy as fuck, he's ugly and soy as fuck. By the way, pink tie, red handkerchief, white flower. Buddy, you don't know what the fuck you're doing with your suit. Stop it. Anyway, this is all nonsense. Safety and comfort. Safety and comfort. There are 0 people on the planet Earth that have been actually harmed by this statement. If there is any sort of harm in any way, shape, or form to somebody, they need to be in therapy because they are too sensitive to exist. Period, point blank. It gets even dumber. This moron, by the way, let me just say here, Latinx game designer. Has he actually made anything? Latinx is not a thing, by the way. Latinx does not exist. You are Latino or you are Latina. You know nothing about the Spanish language if you think Latinx is a thing. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. It's not going to happen. But once again, he, him. What is it with all these fucking idiots who look like this with pronouns in the bio? Pasión de las Pasiones? Passion of the Passions? Passion of Passions? Maybe our Spanish is wrong, but Jesus Christ. So what? It's a tabletop RPG about fucking? Yeah, that no. That's stupid. Why are you stupid? Why are you pushing this stupid thing? It's on Kickstarter, huh? How you doing? I'm curious. Pre-orders coming soon. People have actually given this money. 1,000 backers have given this $50,000 for role-playing romance. What is this bullshit? This is gay. This is stupid. That's not a tabletop. That's RP fantasy. It's pretending to fuck. Like, what the fuck is this? It says, if you think that there is nothing wrong with the way that Wizards continues to reinforce racist shit in D&D, nothing about this is racist. If anything, it implies culture. If raised outside its culture, could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion. They have instincts. Like all living creatures have instincts. Theirs just happen to go towards war. They're not called savages. They're not called troglodytes. There's other stuff that I just watched Bone Hunt Tomahawk not too long ago, like yesterday. I could just as easily find stuff that's a lot more offensive to say than what I just said. That's not, like I said, this is tame. None of this has anything to do with actual racism in the real world. Please go ahead and block me now. I have no interest in any conversation with you or for you to interact with my design work. Well, your design work looks like shit. Not to mention you're doing the one thing that everybody suggests. Make your own shit. And you've made your own. And you got 50 grand off of it. I don't know how. But it happened. So, congratulations on your success, but you're an asshole. They don't have to change for you. You got your own bullshit. And that's exactly what it sounds like. Bullshit. It sounds like it's D&D for soccer moms. What the fuck are you on? He says the harassment by these incel sacks of shit is ridiculous. Harassment? Buddy, you're going out there challenging people to a fight and you're mad people punch you in the face? What? In what sane world does that make any sense? You have been harassed by 0 people. You have gone out and said that people are racists, apparently, or something like that, or you're defending racism, for saying that you're a fucking idiot, for believing what you believe. You're a coward. Plain and simple. And then, of course, he throws out straw man. And this is the thing. This, won't somebody please think of the orcs, is stupid. And this is not the first time that it's happened. I would like to introduce you to an article from a long time ago. Some of you guys might remember this. Middle-earth Shadow of War. In fact, this isn't even the first one. So let me actually put this up here for a second. Because if I recall correctly, Chris Plant, who was the guy who initiated the Shirtgate thing, here it is, started this whole mess off. This is over on The Verge. Shadow of Mordor is morally repulsive and I can't stop playing it. And during the course of this short little retard basically went through and to say that you killing pixels of orcs, which in Tolkien's universe are irredeemable, to my recollection anyway, they're basically just monsters, is terrible and you're a racist for doing it, even though he admits that he loves to do it. And he says, oh, you torture in this game. Blah, blah, blah. It's almost like you're at war or something. It's almost like you're waging a one-man war against the entirety of Mordor. It's almost like you don't have sympathy for the people that killed your fucking family. It's almost like the game's a revenge fantasy, you dipshit. And then there was this article from Cameron Kunzelman over at Polygon spouting the exact same nonsense. That the treatments of orcs is racist. You're trying to parallel it to the way people talked about such and such people at such and such time. Except there's a problem. This is fiction. It has nothing to do with it. At all. You're sitting there claiming that something is racist based on a descriptor. That's kind of ridiculous. If you're going to make that argument about one or two of Lovecraft's works, we could probably have the discussion. Especially The Shadow over Innsmouth. Which, from what I recall, that whole book is an allegory for biracial, biracial marriages. So, or interracial marriage, or interracial relationships, I should say. But with this, you don't have an argument. The original creator, his intention wasn't to make anything about any sort of person of any type of skin color. Tolkien wasn't that kind of human being. Historically speaking, and we know this from history, he's one of the kindest, gentlest human beings on earth. A good friend of C.S. Lewis. He created monsters. He described monsters as monsters. That's it. There's no allegory for people with skin color. That's something that you have put on that. Because you idiots all believe in the death of the author. The death of the author is bullshit. It's a bunch of French nonsense. And French nonsense tends to go around a lot. And for some reason, people here in the West seem to treat it like it should be taken seriously. I'm sorry, but no. It's dumb. You do not get to infer your idea of a meaning onto literature at all. The creator's intent always matters. Always. Without it, it has no meaning. Context defines meaning, you retards. But this is the problem. People constantly want to make something out to be something else. So, why do they do this? Well, it's very simple. They want to censor artists. That's it. They want to censor people. There's no difference in their attitude and the attitudes of the PMRC way back in the day. At all. They just have a different tactic. Because they know that they cannot go through government to censor people anymore. They know that they can't. A lot of people don't really realize this, and I went over this years ago, so I'm going to go over it again so I don't repeat myself too much. But there's a Supreme Court case called Brown versus the EMA. And in it, the majority opinion by Justice Scalia, God rest his soul, was that these pieces of art, whether it's video games or whatever, are expression and deserve to be protected. And as such, video games and and by extension, things like tabletop and things like that could also be protected under the First Amendment. If you follow the logic, anyway. These people know that. These people aren't stupid. Whether they realize it or not, people who want to censor others don't realize that was a massive blow to their cause. So what they do instead is they go on Twitter and they gather up all the people and then they come out with a narrative. And they all support one another. And they get it out there and they get it trending. Then from there, the woke press goes out and makes sure that it gets even more exposure. And will likely put at the bottom of an article, we tried to reach X, Y, or Z person for comment, they were unavailable. That means they sent an email, they went to print, and now they're waiting on the response because they know that a lie can get halfway around the world before the truth gets its chance to get its pants on. Orc racism or what have you is just a guise for wanting to censor the things that you love. That is it. That is the tactic. That will always be the tactic. And this is the sort of thing that people need to be going to war for. Not sports bras, not an angel being a bad guy in Doom, not fucking skorts. There's actual censors out there. Again, there are wolves at the gate. You need to worry about the actual people that want to take away the things you love. Because if you get distracted by everything else, these people sneak right in. They shouldn't. But that's how it goes. At the end of the day, these people, they want to take away your stuff. Polygon wants to take away your stuff. The Verge wants to take away your stuff. These idiots who say that they don't want to take away your stuff, they absolutely do. I mean, I found this kind of funny. Is that over on Reset Era, they say here, I want to preemptively say that woke scolds like me are not coming for your favorite media or going to police your enjoyment. Bullshit. Banning anything is not on the table. Nobody said it was. I seek to educate and critique. Oh, so you seek to shame then. To paraphrase Anita Sarkeesian, who made a career out of trying to shame creative people. We can enjoy media while being critical of its problematic aspects. Bullshit. She called for bans on things. Orcs are here to say nobody is going to take away your Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance novels. But understand that colonialism and its tropes are the original sin of the modern age. I'm sorry, what? Colonialism is the original sin of the modern age. You know, I have this as a prop and a gag. There were more sins committed by the Russians, or the communist Russians, I should say, and the communist Chinese, and so on and so forth, than anything that colonialism ever did. Do not try to rewrite history, fuckface. We all know who you're really backing. You think that the term Wuhan virus, which, by the way, the virus came from China, and the Chinese tried to cover it up, the Communist Chinese Party. This is ridiculous. It's a complete rewriting of history. And you do it to try to make people feel bad for being creative and for creating things that you happen to find offensive. Some of these people have already created their own shit. Go make your bullshit. Go enjoy your bullshit with your little fans in your little ball pit. Your goal absolutely is to change things. You say so yourself. If you want to change it, You want to take away and remove what it originally was. Period, point blank. And we all know why. Because you want to take what already was and you want to remove it, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen again because it offended your little sensibilities and you want control over it. No. Fuck you. And this sort of shit is why I got into making comics, folks. It's because somebody has to actually stand up and create something new that is going to give the finger to these sorts of woke skulls and tell them, you don't like it, don't fucking buy it, but you can't take away the things I create. And you never will. I don't think Wizards of the Coast will do anything that even counts as standing up to these assholes. They're likely going to kowtow to them. They're going to apologize, and then that description's going to be gone. I guarantee you sometime this week it will happen. Maybe on top of making comics, I need to think about creating my own fucking tabletop. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But as it stands, these are the type of people that we all need to focus on. And they deserve one of these. My name is Micah Curtis, your favorite vanilla gorilla. I'll see you next time.